Let's go and talk about arithmetic operators. So we have a little graph here, and these operators are a little hard to see, but we have a plus sign, which means addition, minus sign, subtraction, slash, forward slash, which means division. We have a star, a splat symbol, which means multiplication, a percent sign, which is modulus. This is kind of unique. What this does is it divides two numbers and gives you the remainder of what's left over. So it doesn't actually give you what it divides out to, just the remainder. We have a plus plus symbol, which is a post increment, meaning it adds variable value by 1. So if we were to do a echo x plus plus, and x were to equal 5, it would just add 1 to it, and we would see 6. Okay. We have a post decrement, which works just the same as multiplication, except it subtracts 1. So if x equals 5, and we do an echo, dollar sign, double parentheses, x minus minus, double parentheses, we would see 4. And then we have an exponentiation. So we have splat, splat, or star, star. So if x equals 2, y equals 3, and we echo dollar sign, double parentheses, x, star, star, y, double parentheses, we would get 8. Okay, and I can show you that real quick. So when we are using arithmetic expressions, we want to make sure that we encapsulate it inside a dollar sign and 2 double parentheses. Okay? So echo dollar sign, double parentheses. That's how it knows that it's using arithmetic. And we do 20 plus 5 double parentheses. Oops, not equals 5, plus 5. There you go, 25. I can do a minus. So 20 minus 5, 15. I can do a multiplication or star or splat, which is multiplication. 100. I can do a division, which is a forward slash, which is 4. I can try and do that modulus, and it's going to give me the remainder. Remember, it's not actually going to divide by 5, it's going to give me the remainder. So what's going to the remainder going to be? Well, 0, right? 5 divides into 20 evenly, so there's a 0 remainder. That might seem like a goofy thing that we don't really need right now, but it can actually be useful in certain situations. We have that post increment, so I can say, well, I would need to set a variable here. Let's just say x equals 5. Okay, and I can do echo, dollar sign, double parentheses, x plus plus. Okay. Oops. There you go, 6. Okay. Notice too that when I ran it that first time, my spacing was off, so it didn't run it correctly. Spacing is so important when we do these, guys. So important. So all these other ones, I had spaces before and after the actual numbers. This one, there is no spacing. Okay. I can run that again and do a minus minus. Oops. Well, I would probably I would need to reset that variable. That's why I added it again. Well, let's look at the exponentiation one, so the exponent one. So we can do 2 star star 3. 2 to the third, which is 8. Okay, so that's how you do arithmetic, which can be very useful, but make sure you're encapsulating it with a dollar sign and double parentheses. We also have floating point numbers. So since you can't do floating point arithmetic natively in Bash, you will have to use a command line tool. The most common one is BC, an arbitrary precision calculator language. So to start the interactive mode, you simply need to type BC in your command prompt. Okay, so let me clear my screen here. sorry about that. Mouse wasn't cooperating with me. Clear my screen. HTBC. And there you go. See, it gives you a little warning, tells you about the software, and now I'm in that BC mode. I'm gonna hit Control-C to exit out of that. Use quit to exit. Oh, okay. Quit. There we go. Type in quit to exit out of that, okay? Guys, that's not something you really use a whole lot, okay? But you do want to be aware of it. And here we have some floating point numbers. We have the arithmetic operators, so we have ID plus plus and ID minus minus, which is variable post-increment and decrement. We have plus plus ID and minus minus ID, which is variable pre-increment and pre-decrement. We have minus and plus, which is unary minus and plus, and so on. I'm going to let you guys kind of go through these. I do want to point out some important ones here, though. One is going to be the double ampersand sign, which is a logical AND operator, and the double pipe sign, which is a logical OR operator. Those are important ones, and those are ones that we actually use fairly frequently, okay? We'll talk about those more later, but those are some important ones that we use fairly frequently. Some of these other ones up top here we don't use too much, okay? This one we use, double equal sign and not equal. That's one that's used fairly often. Okay, as well as some comparisons, you know, not equal, less than, greater than, okay? Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. You also have some bitwise operators here. So bitwise left shift, which multiplies by 2 for each shift position. Bitwise right shift, which divides by 2 for each shift position, and so on. Or equal, okay? So these are all things you can add into your scripts to compare two values, okay? But again, these aren't used a whole lot, okay? And we'll get into them later on the ones that you actually use more frequently.